Hello and welcome to the Banker's Tech Talk video series looking at all things fintech. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy and Technology Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by David Sikora, CEO of ALTR, which has developed a security-focused blockchain technology called ALTRchain. David, thanks so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Can you tell me about some of the biggest cyber risks that banks face today?
Well, sure. I mean, and the famous expression that Willie Sutton came, why does he rob banks? Because that's where the money is, right? And so we have an expression at ALTR where we talk about how the network is constantly in breach. If you receive an email, technically you just received a breach in your network, but someone allowed that email to come through. The endpoint protection, the windows and the doors that the banks have around their money, it's not working. I mean, so if you look at the number of breaches that are happening, the only thing that really exceeds the number of breaches is the amount of money that's being spent on network and data security.
So how is ALTR really reinventing the data security model?
Our team has really figured out a model where, leveraging the elegance of the blockchain architecture, we've invented a way to really take transactional information or files from any file system and break that into very small pieces and store those pieces inside of blockchain nodes. It's a very innovative set of ideas, I should say. And I mean, we have in the US of all the blockchain patents issued, we have about 10% of those patents that are already issued. We got to start a really long time ago. Actually started in the financial services business.
But a lot of people conflate blockchain with cryptocurrencies. Can you sort of explain the difference and how ALTR is using the technology that underpins the cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, that's right. That's a great question. And so it is true that it's like the World Wide Web in 1995. When the web came out, everyone said, oh, this is the internet. But that wasn't the internet. The web was just an app that used the internet. And so with blockchain, when people hear blockchain, they think crypto. And the truth is that blockchain is a very elegant tool and architecture that supports the security of cryptocurrency. In fact, crypto Bitcoin is the largest economic value store that so far has never been breached. And so that says something about blockchain. So taking that blockchain, the elegance of that blockchain architecture, and applying it to areas of securing enterprise data hold a lot of promise, but they are very, very different things.
So how does ALTRchain sort of re-instill trust within the digital world?
Sure. So two ways, really. One is that ALTRchain provides the ability to create what we call digital truth. And we do that by actually creating an immutable record of all activity that happens inside of a banking system, an application. And that's immutable. And by definition, blockchain is append only. So things get added over time. But this is a regulatory proof, a regulatory solid, immutable version of the truth of what's happened. The second thing that we do is by storing data in these ALTRchain, in these blockchain nodes, we've basically created an impenetrable structure. So bad guys, who by the way could also be on the payroll, cannot get access to that data. So overall, we can help a company have more faith and more trust in their operating system and all the digital information inside of their company.
Okay, and can you explain, there's a difference between the private blockchain and the public blockchain.
Sure.
And you use a private blockchain. Can you explain the difference and then also why you would choose that over a public?
The challenge with the public blockchain, which is mostly affiliated with cryptocurrencies, the challenge is anyone can join. So you have tremendous performance problems. Like, for example, on the Bitcoin network, it takes 10 minutes or so just to complete a transaction. The public blockchain does give an architecture of governance that is pure and that anyone can join. And so therefore no individual, no company can take over or compromise the integrity of that network. However, with a private blockchain, you can have as much purity of governance as you can in a public blockchain. For example, you can distribute nodes inside of an enterprise, whereas partners can run some nodes, different departments can run some nodes, and with a private blockchain, you can really isolate, you can narrow the scope of the security threat, the threat landscape, if you will. No company on the planet will be prepared to store their information, even fragments of their information, out onto a public blockchain. So we believe for enterprise use cases that private blockchains, permissioned private blockchains, are the future to support those use cases.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your insights, David.
Thanks for having me.